My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I stared at the computer screen in Isabella Rodriguez's downtown Seattle studio. The photograph showed my son-in-law Adrian pressed against a blonde woman in a hotel corridor, his lips on hers, his hand tangled in her hair. The timestamp read 4:47 p.m. Sophia's wedding ceremony had started at 6:15 p.m. 90 minutes. He'd been kissing another woman 90 minutes before marrying my daughter. "I'm so sorry, Conrad," Isabella whispered behind me. "I found these while editing the final album. I was testing camera angles in the hotel hallway before the ceremony. I captured this by accident, but the metadata proves everything." She clicked to the next photo. Different angle, same scene. The woman's left hand was visible against Adrian's chest. A gold wedding band caught the light. She was married too. I'd spent $78,000 on that wedding. The Botanical Garden venue, the live jazz band, the imported roses, the 7-course dinner. Everything perfect for my eldest daughter's special day. And 2 hours before the vows, her groom was betraying her. Isabella handed me a flash drive. "Everything's here. All the photos, all the technical data. You deserve to know the truth." I drove home in a fog, the flash drive burning in my pocket like evidence of murder. Seattle traffic blurred past my window. Rain drummed on the roof of my truck. Normal sounds for an absolutely abnormal day. When I pulled into my driveway, I sat motionless for 10 minutes. My house looked the same as always. Big windows, well-kept lawn, the basketball hoop I'd installed when the girls were young. Everything familiar. Everything a lie. Inside, I heard voices before I opened the door. Derek's laugh from my living room, loud and careless. My younger daughter Natalie's voice from upstairs, sharp and demanding. I'd let them move in 4 years ago. Temporarily, Natalie had said. Just until we get back on our feet. 4 years of no rent, no end date, no gratitude. I walked through my own front door like a stranger entering someone else's home. Derek sprawled in my leather recliner, beer bottle sweating onto my coffee table, watching my television. He didn't look up. "Hey, Conrad, grab me another beer while you're up." Not a request. A command. In my house. I went straight to my office and closed the door. My hands were steadier now, but something else was shaking loose inside me. Something that had been bending for years. Through the ceiling, I heard Natalie's voice. She was on the phone, volume turned up too loud like always. "Yeah, Soph, I asked him about the Tesla yesterday. He looked annoyed but he'll cave. He always does." I froze. Pressed my ear to the ceiling. Sophia's voice crackled through the speaker, clear as day. "Perfect. I've got 2 more months of playing happy wife. Then I file for divorce. Half those wedding gifts are legally mine in Washington state. Adrian already agreed to a 60-40 split. Easiest $52,000 I ever made." My vision blurred. The room tilted. Natalie laughed. "This is brilliant. And Dad's so busy feeling proud of your marriage, he doesn't see anything. We can milk him another 6 months. Then he'll buy us that condo in Capitol Hill just to get rid of us." "Keep him distracted," Sophia said. "Ask for something big so when I hit him up for the house down payment, it won't seem crazy by comparison." Already on it. I'm thinking 35 grand for a new car. They laughed together. My daughters. My blood. Laughing about using me. That evening, Sophia appeared at my door. She looked perfect, as always. Designer blazer, expensive jeans, the smile she'd inherited from her mother. My successful daughter. Marketing executive. Beautiful apartment in Bellevue. Married to Adrian Fisher. Investment banker. All of it a performance. "Hi, Daddy." She kissed my cheek and walked inside like she owned the place. I was nearby. Thought I'd stop by. Bellevue wasn't nearby, but I didn't mention it. She settled on my couch, crossed her legs, looked around my living room with appraising eyes. Adrian and I found the most amazing house in Bellevue. 4 bedrooms, mountain views. Absolutely perfect. But we need to move fast. The market's competitive. Here it comes, I thought. We need help with the down payment. $50,000. You understand, right? After everything you spent on the wedding, This just completes the picture. Helps us start our life together properly. 50,000. Said like she was asking to borrow my lawnmower. Let me think about it, I managed. Her smile faltered. Just for a second. Think about it? Dad, this is important. We can't lose this house. I need to review some things first. She stood abruptly, grabbed her purse, kissed my cheek again, colder this time. Don't take too long. Love you, Daddy. The next morning, I drove to my bank downtown. Professional territory. Safe ground. The manager, Patricia Williams, greeted me in her office. We'd worked together for 15 years. Conrad, what brings you in? I wrote a wedding gift check to Sophia and Adrian. 20,000. I want to verify it cleared properly. Patricia pulled it up on her computer. Yes, here it is. Joint account for Adrian and Sophia Fisher. Cleared without issues. Joint account, I said casually. When did they open that? She scrolled. Looks like 6 weeks before the wedding. June 15th. 6 weeks before the ceremony. Not years. Not when they got engaged. 6 weeks. They'd opened an account specifically to receive wedding money. Thanks, Patricia. In my truck, I sat with the engine running. June 15th. I pulled out my phone and checked the wedding date. July 27th. They'd planned this. Coordinated it. The wedding wasn't about love or commitment. It was about cash collection. My business partner, James, had handed Adrian a check at the reception. $15,000. Welcome to the family, son. Start your life right. Adrian had smiled. Thank you, sir. We won't forget this. He'd meant it differently than James thought. I found Rebecca Martinez through a web search. 25 years experience. Real estate law. Family trusts. Asset protection. Her office was in a glass building downtown. 23rd floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seattle. Law books lining the walls. I placed the flash drive and my handwritten notes on her mahogany desk. A month ago, I paid for my daughter's wedding. $78,000. 3 days ago, the photographer showed me pictures of my son-in-law with another woman 90 minutes before the ceremony. Yesterday, I overheard my daughter planning to divorce him in 2 months to split the wedding gifts 50-50. Rebecca's pen paused over her legal pad. I slid forward my notes. My younger daughter has been living in my house for 4 years with her boyfriend. No rent, no lease. Constant money demands. Yesterday, I heard her tell Sophia they'd stretch it another 6 months until I bought them a condo. Rebecca inserted the flash drive into her computer. Clicked through the photos. Her jaw tightened. Conrad, I can help you. We'll draft an eviction notice for your younger daughter. 30 days to vacate. And we'll create an irrevocable trust to protect all your assets. How much? $9,500 for everything. I'd spent $78,000 on a fake wedding. That's acceptable. The eviction notices arrived on Friday. Heavy paper. Official seals. I set them on my desk and looked at them for most of the day. By evening, I was ready. Natalie and Derek were in the living room. Derek was gesturing, animated, excited about something. Another scheme. Craft breweries are huge right now, he was saying. Seattle's market is perfect. We'd need about $60,000 to start. You'd see returns in a year, easy. Natalie laughed. He'll do it. He always does. Just frame it as helping family. I stepped into the room. They looked up, smiling, expecting nothing. I placed the envelopes on the coffee table between them. What's this? Natalie picked up hers, puzzled. Official eviction notice. You have 30 days to find other housing. The silence was thick enough to cut. Derek tore open his envelope. His face went red. Have you lost your mind, old man? This is our home. This is my house. You haven't paid rent in 4 years. You can't just kick us out like we're strangers. We're family. The notice is legal. 30 days. I suggest you start packing. Natalie grabbed my arm. Dad, please. We can work this out. We'll pay rent. I removed her hand gently but firmly. Walked to my office. Locked the door with an audible click. Behind me, chaos erupted. Natalie wailing. Derek shouting. Furniture scraping. The next morning, I found Natalie sprawled on the couch in her bathrobe. Her hand pressed dramatically against her chest. "Dad!" Her voice was weak, theatrical. "I can't get up. My heart's racing. The stress from this eviction. I think you should call a doctor." Derek hovered nearby, arms crossed, protective stance, both watching for my reaction. I walked past them to the kitchen without stopping. "There's medicine in the cabinet." Silence behind me. Then Natalie's frustrated exhale. I poured coffee and carried it to my office. Through the door, I heard Natalie's symptoms disappear. The theatrical gasping stopped. Her voice returned to normal as she grabbed her phone. An hour later, Derek found me in the garage. Blocked the doorway with his body. "You know what people will say, right?" His face was too close to mine. "Aggressive. That you threw out your own daughter. Your pregnant daughter." Natalie wasn't pregnant. Just another lie. Your business partners, your church friends, they'll all know what kind of man you really are. I checked my watch. The eviction is legal. You have 28 days left. Now move. He didn't budge. We stood there for 20 seconds, his jaw working, fists clenched. Finally, he stepped aside. Sunday afternoon, my doorbell rang. Sophia stood on my step with Adrian and a woman I didn't recognize. The woman carried a briefcase. "Dad, this is Dr. Patricia Morrison. She's a psychologist. We thought it might help to talk." I remained standing in the doorway. I didn't agree to any conversation. The woman smiled professionally. "Conrad, your daughter is concerned about recent behavioral changes. Sudden decisions, cutting off family. These can sometimes indicate underlying issues." "Stop." I looked at Sophia. "Out. All of you. Now." "Dad, she's trying to help. If you'd just listen. This is my house. You're leaving." After they left, I called Rebecca Martinez. She answered on the second ring. "They just tried to bring a psychologist to my house. Implied I'm mentally incompetent." "I'll add it to the file," Rebecca said calmly. "Document everything. If they try guardianship proceedings, we'll have proof of manipulation." I hung up and made detailed notes. Date, time, names, exact words. Everything a potential court might need. Through the window, I watched Sophia's Mercedes pull away. She was regrouping, planning her next move. Let her plan. I was 3 steps ahead. Monday evening, I found an envelope on my kitchen counter. Handwritten label, business proposal. Inside was a typed document. Derek's handwriting filled the margins with notes. Investment opportunity. Craft brewery partnership. Initial capital required. $65,000. Terms. Natalie and Derek remain in residence. Pay nominal rent of $400 per month. Repay investment within 5 years. I read the whole thing. 2 pages of financial projections pulled from thin air. Promises of returns. Guarantees of family harmony. At the bottom, this solves everything. We stay, you profit, family stays together. I folded it, walked to the living room where they sat waiting, and handed it back. "No." Natalie's face crumpled. "Dad, we're trying to compromise." "No," I repeated, and returned to my office with my dinner. Through the wall, I heard frustrated whispers. Dishes slamming. The sound of their last bargaining chip disintegrating. Derek had gone from demanding $60,000 to offering $400 monthly rent. Desperation was showing. 26 days left. The countdown continued. Wednesday evening, Sophia called. "Dad, Adrian and I are coming over for dinner. We're cooking. You work too hard." Not a request. An announcement. They arrived at 6 carrying grocery bags. Sophia took over my kitchen. Adrian set my table with practiced charm. Natalie emerged from upstairs, makeup perfect, no sign of her earlier illness. Derek appeared freshly showered. An intervention, carefully staged. We sat for the meal they'd prepared. Chicken, rice, salad. Adrian poured wine and made small talk about his work. Everyone performed normalcy. Then Sophia shifted gears. Dad, this house must be a lot to manage alone. All these rooms, the yard work. Have you thought about something smaller? I cut my chicken slowly. Adrian picked up the thread. The real estate market is strong right now. Houses in Seattle sell fast. You could get top dollar. There it was. Sophia touched a picture frame on the side table. Adjusted it. Territorial. We'd help you move, of course. And whatever proceeds you got, it would be nice to share with family. Help Natalie and Derek get started. Help Adrian and me with our house down payment. Everyone benefits. They wanted the house sale money, not inheritance someday. Wow. I set down my fork. Looked at each of them. 4 faces. 4 masks. 1 agenda. I'm not selling my house. Sophia laughed lightly. Edge underneath. Dad, no one's pressuring you. I stood. Thank you for dinner. Good night. I called Rebecca Martinez from my office. I need to see you tonight. It's urgent. I'll be at the office in 30 minutes. I waited until I heard their cars leave. Sophia's Mercedes, then Derek's old sedan following, coordinating their next move. In Rebecca's office, I explained the dinner ambush, the coordinated pressure to sell, the timeline accelerating. We need to move faster on the trust, I said. Rebecca pulled out fresh documents. We'll transfer everything tomorrow. House, business, savings. You maintain full control during your lifetime, but after death, distribution follows your exact instructions. They can't challenge it. How fast? I'll start paperwork first thing tomorrow. We'll also change your bank account beneficiaries immediately. Remove your daughters entirely. Do it. I signed everything. Electronic signatures, witnessed and legal. 40 minutes later, I left with copies. The drive home felt lighter somehow. Inside my house, empty wine glasses sat on my coffee table. They'd probably spent the evening plotting with Sophia on speakerphone. Let them plot. Within 3 weeks, everything I'd built would be protected. 24 days until Natalie and Derek left. 3 weeks until the trust was finalized. The endgame was in motion. Over the next week, things in my house got worse. I came home Tuesday to find my coffee maker shattered on the kitchen floor. Derek lounged at the table with his newspaper. Slipped out of my hands, he shrugged. Accidents happen. I swept up the glass without comment. Wednesday, I saw Natalie talking to Mrs. Patterson over the back fence. Our neighbor for 15 years. Natalie dabbed her eyes with tissue. Dramatic gestures. He's throwing us out with nowhere to go. I don't know what's gotten into him. Mrs. Patterson looked uncomfortable. I'm sure you'll work it out, dear. I don't know. He's changed. It's like he's not the same person. Thursday, I found my laptop charger cut in half. Friday, the living room lamp lay smashed on the floor. I photographed everything. Documented dates and times. Added it all to the file Rebecca was building. Saturday morning, Sophia arrived with Dr. Morrison again. This time the psychologist carried official-looking paperwork. Conrad, we need to discuss a competency evaluation, Dr. Morrison said. Your recent decisions suggest. Get out. Both of you. Now. After they left, I called Rebecca. They're trying guardianship angle again. Document everything. We'll use it if needed. I came home Monday to find my office door slightly ajar. I always closed it completely. Always. On my desk, the trust documents sat exactly where I'd left them. Almost exactly. The corner was folded differently. Someone had looked through them. That evening, Natalie and Derek were quieter than usual. They kept exchanging glances. Worried glances. They'd seen the paperwork. They knew the money was gone. The next day, my business partner James called. Conrad, I got a strange call from Sophia yesterday. She was asking about your mental state. Whether you'd been acting erratically. Whether the trust you set up could be challenged. What did you tell her? That you're the sharpest person I know. That the trust is solid. That she should focus on her own life. Thank you, James. After we hung up, I smiled. They were getting desperate. Scrambling. Calling my associates. Trying to find weaknesses in the legal fortress Rebecca had built. They wouldn't find any. 18 days until eviction. The countdown was almost over. Thursday afternoon, Natalie knocked on my office door. Alone. Derek wasn't with her. Strategic choice. Dad, can we talk? Just us. I gestured to the chair. She sat, tissue already in hand, eyes red. I've been thinking about everything. You were right about Derek. About how we've been living. He's not a good influence on me. I see that now. I waited. Let the silence stretch. I've made terrible mistakes. I'm asking, begging for your forgiveness. Another chance. I could change. Be the daughter you deserve. The performance was flawless. Trembling voice, vulnerable posture, leaning forward. Every manipulation technique in her arsenal. If you truly realized your mistakes, Natalie, you wouldn't be asking for forgiveness as a transaction. You'd have come without expecting anything in return. But you're asking for the house, for money, for me to change my mind about the trust. Her face changed. Tears stopped. Voice went hard. Fine. You want to be alone? Be alone. But don't expect us to care what happens to you. 16 days. Natalie. Start packing. She slammed the door hard enough to rattle the frame. Through the ceiling, I heard her stomping upstairs. Derek's questioning voice. Her angry response telling him it hadn't worked. Reality was finally breaking through. My phone buzzed Saturday morning. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. The text read, Conrad, this is Adrian. I know you know about the photos. Look, Sophia knew about my relationship too. The whole marriage was an arrangement. We're divorcing anyway. I'm asking you to stay out of it. I can make it worth your while. 12,000 to let this play out quietly. I read it 3 times. Each time, the audacity grew. Adrian was admitting everything. The affair, the scam, Sophia's involvement. And he was trying to bribe me. $12,000 to stay silent while they completed their fraud. I took a screenshot for my records. Then I blocked the number. No response necessary. No negotiation. Just evidence added to the growing file. They were all showing their true faces now. The masks were coming off one by one. And I was documenting everything. 8 days until eviction. The house felt like a pressure cooker ready to explode. Derek started using physical intimidation. Standing too close when I walked through rooms. Blocking doorways. Towering over me at the refrigerator. Monday morning, he stepped in front of me in the hallway. Chest out. Jaw clenched. 8 days, I said calmly. Then you're trespassing. He didn't move for 30 seconds. I didn't blink. Finally, he stepped aside. That afternoon, I saw envelopes on the kitchen counter. Apartment rejection letters. Bad credit. No rental history. Insufficient income. They were finally looking for housing. Finally taking the eviction seriously. But it was too late. Too little. Natalie alternated between crying fits and icy silence. She'd stop sobbing the moment I left the room. The performance never ended. Wednesday, I came home to find them actually packing. Clothes stuffed into garbage bags. Boxes from the grocery store filled with their belongings. Angry, jerky movements. Derek threw things into boxes like he was assaulting them. But they were packing. Finally accepting reality. 7 days left. The final morning arrived like Judgment Day. I pulled into my driveway at 9. Sheriff's Deputy Williams arrived 30 seconds behind me. Rebecca Martinez followed in her sedan. We'd coordinated this carefully. Official, legal, no room for argument. Deputy Williams stepped out. Mid-40s. Experienced. Professional. Conrad, let's get this done. Rebecca joined us, briefcase in hand. Everything's in order. 30 days have elapsed. They're officially trespassing now. We walked to my front door together. I knocked. 3 firm knocks. Silence. Then Derek's voice, muffled. Go away. You can't do this. Deputy Williams stepped forward, hand resting on his duty belt. This is Deputy Williams with the sheriff's office. I'm here to enforce a legal eviction order. Open the door now or I'll open it myself. That becomes criminal trespass. Your choice. Long pause. Whispered argument inside. Then the door cracked open. Natalie's face appeared. Red eyes. Defiant expression masking panic. Williams pushed the door wider. Entered professionally. Rebecca and I followed. The living room looked like a disaster zone. Clothes everywhere. Pizza boxes stacked on my coffee table. Beer cans. Chaos. But no packed boxes ready to go. You folks weren't planning on leaving, were you? Williams surveyed the room. You have 2 hours to collect personal belongings. Clothes. Personal items. No furniture. No fixtures. Clock starts now. 2 days after the eviction, my phone rang. Sophia. Dad, I need $25,000 for divorce attorney fees. Adrian cleaned out our joint account. I have nothing. No. What? No. Sophia. I'm not giving you money. She called again the next day. $15,000 then. Just to get me through this. No. The day after that. $8,000. First and last month's rent. Dad, I'm your daughter. Get a loan. Get a second job. Figure it out. Her voice became desperate. High-pitched. Adrian took everything. He disappeared with most of the wedding cash. I've been conned. Yes, I said calmly. You have been. By your own co-conspirator. Dad, please. I hung up. She'd planned to steal wedding gifts and split them with Adrian. Now Adrian had stolen from her. The perfect circle of greed and betrayal. I felt nothing. No sympathy. No guilt. Just the quiet satisfaction of watching consequences arrive exactly as they should. I hired a private investigator named Thomas Reed. Former police detective. Now freelance. His specialty was following loose threads until they unraveled completely. 2 weeks later, he delivered his report in my office. Adrian Fisher isn't his real name. He's Adrian Coulter. He's been running this marriage scam for 5 years with a partner named Emily Watson. The blonde woman in your photos. He slid documents across my desk. Criminal records. Marriage certificates from 3 other states. Divorce filings. They target wealthy families. Emily scouts the marks, Adrian courts them. They stage elaborate weddings, collect gifts, divorce within months. They've done this to 4 families before yours. Made over $300,000. I stared at the evidence. Photos of Adrian with different women. Different weddings. Same pattern. Emily Watson has a record, Thomas continued. Fraud, identity theft. She served 2 years in Oregon. Adrian's been her partner since she got out. What about Sophia? From what I can tell, she was a victim too. She thought she was running a con on Adrian, but he was running a bigger con on her. I gathered the documents. Thank you, Thomas. Send the full report. That afternoon, I anonymously forwarded everything to the district attorney's office. The consequences were just beginning. 3 weeks after the eviction, my phone rang. Isabella Rodriguez, the photographer who'd started everything. Conrad, I've been thinking about you. Wondering how things turned out. I hope I didn't overstep by calling you that day. Isabella, you gave me the truth when everyone else was feeding me lies. You did the right thing. Relief flooded her voice. I wasn't sure. Showing you those photos felt like destroying your world. You saved me from living in a lie. We talked for an hour. Easy conversation. Comfortable. She told me about her own escape from a manipulative family situation years ago. How she'd rebuilt her life from nothing. Would you like to get coffee sometime? I asked. I'd like to thank you properly. I'd like that very much. We met the following Tuesday at a cafe downtown. No agendas. No demands. Just conversation between 2 people who understood what it meant to choose yourself over toxic family expectations. It was the first genuine connection I'd felt in months. Maybe years. We planned to meet again the following week. A month after the eviction, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered cautiously. Conrad Chen, this is Tom Reed with the District Attorney's Office. I'm calling about evidence you submitted regarding Adrian Coulter and Emily Watson. My heart rate picked up. Yes. They've been arrested on multiple counts of wire fraud and conspiracy. Federal charges. They're looking at significant prison time. What about Sophia? She's being investigated as a potential accomplice. But the evidence you provided, the recorded phone conversation, the timeline, suggests she was also a victim. We may call you to testify. 2 hours later, Sophia called, crying so hard I could barely understand her. Dad, the FBI came to my apartment. They're saying I might be charged with fraud, that I helped Adrian con people. You have to tell them I didn't know. Please, Dad. Tell them I didn't know about the other families. Get a lawyer, Sophia. A good one. You have proof I didn't know. The conversation Natalie and I had, it proves I thought I was scamming Adrian, not helping him scam others. Talk to your lawyer. I hung up. Justice was rolling forward like a freight train. And I wasn't stopping it. 6 weeks after the eviction, I was at one of my hardware stores reviewing inventory when the front door chimed. I looked up. Natalie stood in the entrance. She looked different. Thinner, tired, wearing Target clothes instead of designer brands. She walked toward me slowly. No Derek. Alone. Conrad. Not Dad. I know you don't want to see me. I won't take much of your time. I waited. Derek and I broke up. I'm working retail at the mall. Living with a roommate in a studio apartment. I'm not here to ask for money. She took a breath. I'm here to say I'm sorry. For who I was. What I did. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I understand now. I looked at her carefully, searching for the manipulation. The angle. I found none. Just exhaustion and genuine regret. Thank you for telling me, I said. She nodded, turned to leave, paused at the door. I hope you're happy, Conrad. I really do. Then she was gone. I stood in my store, inventory clipboard in hand, and felt something strange. Not forgiveness. Not reconciliation. But maybe the smallest crack in the wall I'd built. Maybe someday. Not today. But maybe someday. 3 months after the eviction, my life had developed a rhythm I'd never experienced before. Peaceful. Simple. Mine. Tuesday and Thursday mornings, guitar lessons with an instructor named Miguel. I was learning songs I'd wanted to play for 40 years. Wednesday afternoons, volunteering at the community center. Teaching basic home repairs to people who needed the skills. Helping because I chose to, not because someone demanded it. Friday evenings, dinner with Isabella. Coffee dates had become something more. Something genuine and warm and uncomplicated. I donated $50,000 to a charity helping young people escape financial abuse. Anonymous contribution. No recognition needed. My business partners commented that I seemed different. Lighter. Happier. The trust documents sat in my safe. Every asset protected. Every decision mine. For the first time in years, maybe the first time ever, I was living for myself. Not funding someone else's dreams. Not enabling someone else's greed. Just living. Actually living. 4 months after everything, a letter arrived. Handwritten. Sophia's distinctive script. I opened it on my deck overlooking Seattle. Rain fell softly. The city stretched out below, lights beginning to glow in the growing dusk. Dad, I don't expect you to respond to this. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I understand what I destroyed. I got caught up in greed and terrible choices. I'm in therapy now. Working 2 jobs. Facing fraud charges but cooperating with investigators. I may go to prison. I probably deserve to. I'm sorry doesn't cover it. But I'm sorry anyway. I love you. I always did, even when I showed it terribly. Sophia. I read it twice. Folded it carefully. Placed it in my desk drawer. Maybe someday I'd respond. Maybe not. The choice was mine. I'd learned the most important lesson. Protecting yourself from people who harm you isn't cruelty. It's survival. And choosing peace over obligation isn't loneliness. It's freedom. My phone buzzed. Isabella, asking about dinner plans tonight. I smiled and typed back. Yes. 7. The trust protected my assets. The eviction reclaimed my home. The investigation brought justice. But this quiet evening, this genuine connection, this life lived on my terms, this was the real victory. I'd saved myself. And that was worth everything. The photographer had seen something wrong in my wedding photos. And it had led me to the perfect revenge. Choosing myself. Finally, completely, and without apology. I stood on my deck, rain falling around me, and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace.